The Chosen One prophecy of the Jedi Order foretold a boy who would destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force. And that did come to fruition with the death of Darth Vader and Sidious at the hands of the now redeemed Anakin Skywalker. But did you know the Sith also had their own Chosen One's prophecy? But unlike the Jedi Order's one, it was actually pretty unclear on who it was. The prophecy of the SITH'ARI. The first physical recording of the prophecy would come through Sorza Sin, the first shadow hand of the Sith Empire. And it stated, the SITH'ARI will be free of limits. The SITH'ARI will lead the Sith and destroy them. The SITH'ARI will raise the Sith from death and make them stronger than before. This translation depicted the perfect being around 6,900 BBY, but the prophecy itself is actually much older than that of the first recording of it. The reason is the Kisai, the ruling Sith priest of the ancient Sith purebloods, viewed it as too sacred to be written down and only passed it down through oral communication through generations. And that worked, keeping it alive for tens of thousands of years. And that was before the arrival of Sorza Sin and her fellow Darksiders. To them, they were the true Sith Lords, and they also believed that the SITH'ARI would come and fulfill the prophecy. The translation of the word SITH'ARI is a rough translation of the word Overlord that dated back to around 27,700 BBY. For a little background on the first use of the word SITH'ARI, it came from a powerful Sith ruler known as King Adas, who proved to be the Sith purebloods' ideal ruler when he led them through victory against the Rakatans' Eternal Empire, who before attacking Korriban was almost an undefeated empire. But they should have known better when going against the Sith purebloods in Korriban. The Sith that lived on the planet were very strong and brutal warriors, and most of the time were Darksiders. And before King Adas united the Sith and became a legend, the Sith purebloods were separated into multiple warring factions. The reason King Adas was so widely accepted as a ruler was due to a couple of reasons. For starters, he was born with obsidian black skin, which was incredibly rare among the Sith purebloods, who were mainly red. But probably the main reason he was their leader was because he was one of the best warriors they had to offer, and to the Sith purebloods, that is what truly mattered. King Adas was known for wielding a massive chemically enhanced battle axe as his weapon. He first came to power when he took control over one of the factions by force and killed their leader, and slowly he took control over everyone else on the planet. And soon he was viewed as a SITH'ARI and a god by helping them defeat the Rakatan Empire. It also helped that he lived for a very long time, around 300 years. And like the prophecy stated, he did make the Sith stronger as they defeated the Rakatan Empire, and the respect that people had for him was due to him leading the charge on many battles and soon driving them off-world and pursuing them. But while they did manage to drive the Rakatan out of Sith space, King Adas would die, and this would set off a chain reaction that led to the Sith becoming once more fractured. And thanks to the recent war, Korriban was mostly uninhabitable, which led many Sith to leave to the surrounding planets. And the title of SITH'ARI would continue to be used for the next 20,000 years by new Sith kings rising to power, but none of them ever achieved what King Adas did, and it is assumed that the prophecy of the SITH'ARI came from this period of unrest. But none of the Kisai could agree on the meaning of the prophecy. While some believe that it meant King Adas would return, others believe that it meant a new king would come, and some believe that it meant many kings would rise, like how things were going at the moment. But they all could agree that the prophecy meant that the Sith would rise once more. But things would change in 6,900 BBY when Sorza Sin, along with 11 other Darksiders led by Junta Paul, took control. And the reason they were there was due to them being exiled by the Jedi Order. Under the leadership of Paul, they created a new Sith Empire, and they would quickly be known as the Dark Lords of the Sith. And their newly founded Sith Empire would quickly change many things as they prepared to go to war against the Republic. And Sin found out about the prophecy of the SITH'ARI when studying her new people, and she would come up with her own translation of it, which would soon be recognized as the main translation. And it also agreed with the belief that a new king would arise. And she believed that the Sith would come to them, destroy them, and restore them. And Sin thought that this meant one of the exiles who came to Korriban was the SITH'ARI, due to them coming to the Sith, destroying their old ways, and creating a new and stronger Sith Empire. And while Sin believed that it was either her or Paul, she would actually be wrong, as new and stronger Sith rose and fell. And while all of them thought they were the SITH'ARI, a large majority of these so-called Sith rulers, were rulers that changed the galaxy in major ways, none of them were the true SITH'ARI. Some of the major candidates, though, were Darth Vitiate, Exar Kun, and Darth Ruin. And all of these Sith did have reasons to believe they were the SITH'ARI. They all made the Sith stronger and rose from the ashes, and believed themselves free of limitations. But the best Sith that fits into the role of the SITH'ARI is Darth Bane, who destroyed the entire Sith Order, but made them stronger when he created the Rule of Two. So strong that they destroyed the entire Jedi Order. But to some Sith, such as Plagueis, the prophecy didn't seem real. Instead, it seemed somewhat of a superstition. But not even he could deny that the actions he was taking seemed to follow the prophecy. And this is what made the prophecy so confusing to many. With all these Sith claiming to be the true SITH'ARI and all of them having the reasons to believe so, who is the real SITH'ARI? And we actually do have an answer for this in Legends, and it is none other than Darth Bane. And when we look at all the evidence, it actually makes a lot of sense on why he's the true SITH'ARI. He basically was the perfect Sith. He deeply followed their teachings and had an extreme understanding of the dark side, far better than almost any other. He also created the Rule of Two, which seemingly destroyed the Sith, but made them rise to power and much stronger than before, which also led to the destruction of the Jedi Order. He also had no limits, and because of this, in his eyes, he had no master, no order to follow, and no republic to destroy, due to them believing the Sith were extinct. He also remade the Sith through the new Order of Sith Lords and became the first Dark Lord, and soon taking on on his own apprentice, Darth Zana. And his reforms in his new order made it so every new generation of Sith were stronger than the last, due to them being forced to kill their master. With all those reasons, it is not hard to see how Darth Bane is a true SITH'ARI. Without his interference, the Sith would have been destroyed for good. But anyway, that is the Sith Chosen One's prophecy and how it's so much more complex than the Jedi's. Make sure to comment your favorite Sith in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe, and with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.